r/datingoverthirty. Wisconsin Spermches says, how do you get over having dated someone who was cheating on their spouse with you? Hi all, I 35 male was dating a really great woman 33 female for about 2.5 months. After week 6 she asked if I would be okay going exclusive. Things seemed to be really developing well, so I said yes. She lived about an hour away, but commutes into work near to where I live. We tended to get dinner/drinks/coffee until she started staying over Tuesday nights. She's in office Tuesday and Wednesday. We aligned on core values. We took a weekend trip to the beach. I was pretty excited. This felt like it was going somewhere. Progress to last week. I had a super rough day at work. We hung out. Things got physical. Her phone went off when she was in the shower. The name on the phone was hubby. I asked her what was up when she got out of the bathroom. She broke down crying and told me she was married. 7 years married. Anyway, she claimed that she got carried away and she was on Bumble just to see if she was still attractive. She told me an ex had bad addiction. Maybe it was her husband and I just got to be a stand-in. I asked her to leave, which she was pretty slow to do. The next day, she sent me a long text apologizing. She told me she wanted to continue to see me if I was okay with it. I said hell no. Then she begged me not to tell her husband. I told her she needed to talk to him. Anyway, I feel gutted and pretty gross. I'm bouncing back and forth between mourning the relationship, beating myself up for not seeing it, and having breached an ethical wall around sleeping with a married person that I didn't know I had. Also in there is a lot of anger that she'd ask to continue when she knows I'm trying to be settled by 40. And I feel used physically. Anyone dragged yourself out of one of these troughs that can offer advice? What did you do that made you feel better? Right now binging TV and sipping Jack is doing okay, but it's band-aid on a bullet hole. Also, frick cheaters. Edit, appreciate all the support. I think having a long trip planned with her for this weekend, and most friends being down the shore or busy with kids, has really made this hard. Once Tuesday gets here I'll have a lot better time dealing with it. Skinageneral says, this happened to a good friend of mine. She found out the guy was married and also seeing several women at the same time. There were some signs, like he's only available right after work and they could never go to his place. So I will tell you what I told her, you have done nothing wrong. This woman lied to you, and you have acted as soon as you found out, which is all to your credit. Treat it as a breakup, keep busy, do things that make you happy, journal or talk to good friends. Good luck op. Wisconsin Spermches says, well hopefully I was the only other one. She spent a lot of time with me, so that would be one hell of a balancing act. IC_comfort 8161 says, if she'll cheat on someone to be with you, she'll cheat on you to be with someone else. In this case she kept her marriage secret, so she was cheating on you, albeit with her pre-existing mate. This is not a person you can have a healthy relationship with, and your best bet is to completely cut her out of your life. Investigator_boring says, I haven't been there, but this is not on you. You didn't know, and as soon as you found out, you ended it immediately. Good on you, not everyone would have done that, try as we might, we can't always protect ourselves from people who are unethical. The one good thing here is that it wasn't any longer than it was. It sucks, but you will move on. I would block her completely if you haven't already. She doesn't deserve another second of your time. Good luck to you. Towerpa says, I have no advice other than I'm so sorry this happened to you. That woman is a piece of shit for using you for her own validation. Also, the actual audacity she asked you to be exclusive with her? Nah, I'd be done. Lanulfpack says, frick you cheaters for sure. I was the one who was cheated on, but the other woman knew about me. Definitely don't beat yourself up. Cheaters will go to extremes to hide what they are doing because they know it's wrong. I'm sorry that you feel used and she betrayed your trust. First, I would immediately get tested. You don't know if she's done with this anyone else. I would block her on everything. You can tell her husband if you want, especially if you can provide proof via messages. I know it's easier said than done, but try not to beat yourself up. You didn't know, and you weren't in the wrong. She was. It takes time to move on, but I promise it gets better, and not everyone is a cheating jerk. r/datingoverthirty. Equivalent winner 26 says. Dream girl resurfaces after 20 years, what to do? 39. Single dad. Haven't dated much in the last years, focusing on myself and trying to stay off the apps, that is. Do it more organically. My absolute dream crush from 20 years back in college resurfaced recently when I needed help transferring some old family recipes from text to digital, grandparents past/family album kinda thing. Been following her on FB, a few liked posts over the years, but out of the blue she volunteers to do this project for free, and it's not small. She's an hours away, and is also a single parent. We haven't talked in a long time, but I feel like why else would she have volunteered to do that project if she wasn't interested in catching up, maybe seeing if something develops. We never dated, she was long term with a guy back then, and we lost touch post college, and I got married, etc. I never knew if she liked me back, but it was pretty apparent I was into her. Am I crazy? Did she reach out to do this just to be nice, or is she interested in possibly reconnecting or more? Am I reading too much into it? She's a teacher and bartends here and there, so Saturday I took her down some canned goods from these recipes she's typing up, cherry jam, peaches we grew, nothing major. I had a few drinks at the bar. We caught up for a bit, even though it was busy. We've texted good times last few days, but how do I know if she's interested in me approaching, and B, how do I make the approach? That years I took off from the game made me a little rusty perhaps. Plus, I like her already, and definition don't want screw it up. Thanks in advance, would love to hear some perspective on. NN says. I'm mid-30s, and I'd do it just to get the recipes. And I don't mind making a friend. I don't think it means more. Calmback 503 says. Forrest Gump, is that you? Memelita says. Why else would she have volunteered to do that project if she wasn't interested in catching up, maybe seeing if something develops? Call me crazy, but perhaps, and I know this is a wild assumption, she might be interested in doing said project because she finds it interesting and fulfilling. The number of times men misinterpreted my interest in activities that involve them in my interest in them is astonishing. I'm not saying don't try to reconnect and see where it goes, but to assume anything other than she is interested in the project right now is just mere Lego that I've seen at play so many times. Also, as other commenters explained, she is not a dream girl. Drop that idealization of her fast. Seems like you don't actually know her or even respect her much as a full person. You have some idealized idea about her and all that she bring into your life. You need to change your mindset completely if you want any chance of success here. Informal Writing 434 says. Next time you speak to her, just say this. Just out of curiosity, what made you reach out to me after all these years? Gunners 1073 says. I think you should stick to the organic thing, asking strangers out in grocery stores, dude. Ask her out if you wanted your strategy to be gauging interest from tiny cues out in the wild and asking strangers out. This situation is a dream situation for you, falling right in your lap. Just go for it. Foggy1_Kenobi says. Well, if you would not give it a shot now, you will regret it for the rest of your life. Plus, what can you lose here? Well, maybe the project. Prestigious _coast _65 says. No notes. Go for it, dude. r/datingoverthirty. Priaz92 says. How do you know if you're ready to date after healing from family abusive trauma? 31F, of Chinese descent. Never been in a LTR because of poor coping mechanisms as a result of unhealed childhood abuse at the hands of my family, my mother in particular. My parents are in an unhappy marriage. My mom doesn't work, so is 100% reliant on my dad financially. My dad, as a result, took full advantage of that. He had an affair when I was younger, and it broke my mom. However, because she was reliant on my dad, she couldn't leave him, so she took out all her anger and resentment towards me. My older brother is 10 years older than me, golden child, and he turned a blind eye to the abuse my mother inflicted on me. He dismissed my feelings when I asked him for help. He said, stop playing the victim. Get over it. Mom loves you. I had absolutely no support growing up. Last week, I decided to completely cut off my entire family. I know it was the right decision, but it still makes me sad that I had to do it. I know. I'll be better off for it in time. I've been working with a therapist for the past few years, and she's been so incredibly helpful. I took a step back from dating a few months ago to work on myself and try to heal from my trauma. I acknowledge that most of my issues with men stem from the insecurities my mom projected onto me, always calling me fat, stupid, comparing me to my brother and her friends' kids that were smarter and more successful, constantly belittling and yelling at me over stupid things, telling me I was a mistake and that she shouldn't have had me, etc. Essentially making me feel worthless and unworthy of love, but it's hard to unlearn them. I've realized I always went for emotionally unavailable guys because I was emotionally unavailable too. I just didn't know it at the time. As soon as a guy tries to get closer to me, I freak out and push him away because I'm scared to be vulnerable. All this time, I thought the men were the problem, but turns out it's me. Lol. I also feel like I have all the insecure attachment styles, poor communication. I've stonewalled friends on numerous occasions because I'm afraid of confrontation. So many insecurities. For example, constantly comparing myself to others, love interests, ex-partners. He left someone like that. What chance do I have then? She's so much prettier, smarter, successful, etc. My therapist says that because I'm self-aware of my issues now, and since I have been making a lot of progress through therapy, I'm ready to start dating again. She said I don't need to be perfect to start dating again. My friends are also trying to encourage me to get back out there. But I still feel like I'm a mess. How can I be a good partner for someone when I still have all these issues I need to fix? How do you know if you're healed enough to start dating again? Too long. Didn't read. Abusive family made me feel worthless and now I'm trying to work through the issues through therapy. How do I know if I'm ready to start dating? Chocolate Buff says. Hey there, I feel like I can somewhat relate to this. Indian family, similar in a lot of ways, education. Parents being aggressive to each other, mom being a dependent and a housewife etc. Breaking down each wall you built around yourself takes a long time. Every situation you come across from now on, it's a battle, but you will do everything in your power to break open that. Letting go of your parents might be a start, but you'll have to start with letting go of the resentment you have towards them. What I mean by that is forgive but not forget. I may be the devil's advocate when I say this, but our parents had no outlet when it comes to dealing with their own trauma, and yes, it was absolutely a mistake that she took it on you. They have a million of issues they carry which they shut out and have never dealt with them. So, empathize with that reason and forgive them, but don't forget. Your therapist might have understood that you are on your path to healing. I guess you are taking responsibility of your emotions and how you react to situations in your life. If so, that's going to be a constant in your life. Take a closer look at instances that made react a certain way and ask yourself, why is it? What made me react in such a way? If you feel comfortable, reach out to a friend or therapist and talk about it. With regards to dating, take it at your pace. Don't let people tell you otherwise. Give yourself a few seconds if you think you are being reactive. Come back to it later in an hour or so. Collect your thoughts. Everyone has issues. No one is perfect in this world. Be kind and show empathy to yourself and others. It's going to be a long process. Wava Beach says, this might sound like a cliche, but I really think it's true. Everyone, even the most securely attached, feels like varying degrees of mess, and you'd be hard pressed to find someone who felt they were perfect, except maybe narcissists. I think if your therapist thinks you're ready, that's as good a blessing as any to dip a toe back in the dating pool. I also think there's a part of healing that you simply can't do alone. At some point you need to essentially put into practice what you've been working on in therapy in a live relationship/dating context. Take it at your own pace and keep your support network. You got this. Superbad4322 says, the only way you know if you can ride a horse is to get on it and see if you can ride it. If you fall off, you can't ride it and need more time. If you don't fall off, then you can ride it. Windauber says, hey, I don't have the answers. I actually have the same questions and an incredibly similar background. I'm also of Chinese descent, first of the family born in a Western country. I have a golden child sister who is 13 years older, who is polar opposite to me in terms of values. If you want someone to commiserate with, DM me. I'm dating now, but it does stress me out a lot due to similar kinds of insecurities that you described above, so I'm constantly going back and forth between turning off and on the apps. Honestly, my age and the anxiety of possibly losing my window to have bio kids, not even 100% sure I want them, are what is keeping me dating, but it's not terribly enjoyable for me. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.